Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now on today's video, I'm going to try to engrave on these little bracelets that I got from xTool. Now they are metal, and so I'm going to use the F1 laser. The F1 laser is a diode laser, but the special thing about it is it doesn't only have a blue light laser, but it has an infrared laser. And with a diode laser, that's what it's going to take to engrave on these bracelets. Now, if you don't have an infrared laser, you can use a spray like Surmark and you can mark on the metal. That looks nice too, but to have a true actual engrave, I'm going to use that infrared laser. So let's move over to the table where it is and just jump into this process. Now in the box, there were 2 silver bracelets. That's what I'm going to use. 2 gold and 2 rose gold. And you can see that's a pretty small area to work with. If I take my ruler and look at it, I can see it is less than 1/4 inch tall, and my usable space is about 1 1/4 inches wide. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the F1. There's a toggle switch on back, so I'll go ahead and flip that on. Once I do that, it takes just a few seconds for that to register. Once it registers, okay, the red dot and the blue dot just showed up. Those 2 dots are what you're going to use to focus on your item. That way you know that the laser is focusing at the right height. So I need to put my bracelet on there, and I need it to be underneath the red and the blue dot. Now I think it's going to be extremely hard for you to see this, but I can see the red dot is to the left of the blue dot. So I use this knob right here and I turn it until those come together. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now anywhere I put my bracelet on this base plate, it's going to be at the right height, or the laser will be at the right height. I actually want to use these holes to make sure it's straight from side to side as well as centered in the middle of the base plate. So I'm going to move it down. And then just take your time to get it adjusted to where you think it needs to be, to make sure, again, it's straight and fairly centered in the middle. Now, it doesn't have to be centered in the middle, but that's going to help me when I'm on my computer to get it put in the right place. You'll see that in a minute. Now that I'm happy with the placement, let's go ahead and move over to the computer and I'll show you the software. I'm going to start by opening the xTool Creative Space software. Once I do that, I need to make sure that my device is connected. Now you can see it says F1 here, but I'm going to click on Connect Device and make sure it is connected. All right, so it says it can't find it. Let's go ahead and hit refresh. All right, there it is, so I just click on it. Whew. And if you heard that loud beep, that means it's connected. Now my bracelets are going to be really simple because there is just not much space to work with. So I click on text, and I don't want it to say hello. I want this first one to say Piper. So I back over that and then type Piper. Now that's not the font that I want, so I have to go right here where it says typeface, and I'm going to search for it. All right, it's right here. So I clicked on it and it changed my font. I'm going to go right over here to the word engrave. Now I click off of my word, and that gives me the ability to choose a material. So I'll click right there, and I'm just going to use a stainless steel tag. Or I think that might be a stainless steel dog tag. I'm not sure, but let's click on that. And then I'm going to click back on this to see what it's setting my power at. All right, so it is using the infrared light. That's because it's metal, and your typical blue light can't engrave on metal. It can mark on metal, but it doesn't engrave on metal. And then the power is 100% and a speed of 50. Now I need to get this a lot smaller. Right now that's over 1 inch tall. Remember, I only have 0.2 inches or so to work with. So I'm going to try to put in 0.2. But there is a little bug with this. I cannot get this to work when I try to use less than an inch. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and add 0.2, and then I'm going to back up over it and delete that first 2. When I hit enter, it goes to the right size. Okay, so my bracelet is in the center from left to right, but it's a little bit lower than the middle from top to bottom. And because I only have 0.2 inches to work with, I think I'm going to have to make that smaller. Okay, I want to go ahead and stretch it just a little bit. So I'm going to hit the unlock, and then I'll go ahead and pull it to the right here. Let's make sure that still looks okay. I think it looks fine, but I'm going to have to center that again. When I move it and that line shows up from top to bottom, that means it's in the center from left to right. So at this point, I'm going to use this framing process. Let me go ahead and click on it. Now that I'm framing, I can see the blue light right here. And it looks like my design's a little low. So on my computer, I'm going to hit stop framing. And I'm going to go ahead and move Piper up just a little bit, and then I'll frame it again. So I'll hit framing. And I don't know if you can see that, but to me, that looks good. So I'll say stop framing. Then I'm going to hit process. Here's what it's going to look like. So then I'll hit start. Now I'm ready to go ahead and push the flashing blue light on the side, but first I want to go ahead and lower this. That's going to help protect my eyes. Now I don't just rely on that, I also like to use safety glasses. So I have these safety glasses I bought off of Amazon, and they protect from blue light as well as infrared light. All right, let's push this and see what happens. Okay, that only took 19 seconds. So let me go ahead and raise this up, take my glasses off, and see what I think. I think I wasn't in the center. That's what I think. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. Now here it is after cleaning it up. The engrave's okay, but I didn't have it in the right place. I'll try to do better when I do Remingtons. Now I'm inserting this clip here because after the video, when I went back to edit it, I could see that you really couldn't see how well the engrave was. So I'll put it here, and I'll probably add it 1 or 2 more times. Now I know that it's still going to be focused fine as far as the height goes. So let me lay this one down, make sure I think it's pretty straight, as well as centered in the middle. So let's go ahead and delete that. I'll hit text. I'm going to cover back over hello, and now I'm going to type Remington. I'm going to use that same font, and so I'll go right over here and go down and find it. Once again, I'll hit Engrave, and then let's go back up here. Let's see if I can get it to work this time. I'm going to push 0.18. And see, it just won't do it. So now I'm going to hit 0.18. And then I'm going to back over the 2 digits after the decimal and then delete those. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the middle, and then just a little lower than the middle. Now my settings are still set to the same thing. That engraves super fast. I'm going to slow it down and see if maybe I get a little bit darker engrave. So let's just go with 30 for the speed. I'll hit framing. Okay, I need to move Remington up. I'll hit framing again. So I'm just going to keep framing until I like where it is. So once again, I'll hit process. I'm going to put the green shield down to protect my eyes. Then I'll click start and it's ready to go. Let me put my safety glasses on, then I'll press that button. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh, that one looks really good. That one looks so much better. So much better. Now, I do need to clean it with some alcohol. I see a little bit of a tinge of kind of a yellow color. So I'll just spray some alcohol on my paper towel and clean that off. Now here it is after I cleaned it up. I just used some rubbing alcohol. And hopefully the camera is doing this justice and you can see that engrave. Now it's tiny. These may not be the right blanks for you, but I wanted to show you how well this does with engraving on true metal. You're not just marking the metal, you're actually engraving into the metal. So here's that clip where I show you what the bracelets really look like after they had been engraved. I was so disappointed in how my camera lights washed out the true engrave. Okay, I couldn't stand the thought of Piper getting one that really wasn't all that great, so I went ahead and used one of the gold ones, and I re-engraved it, and I actually slowed the speed down to 10, and it still only took just over a minute. Well, a minute and 13 seconds. So I'll clean that off. That looks so much better than the last one that I did for her. So much better. It just takes a little trial and error. I'll figure it out, but I actually think this one turned out really well as far as how I placed it. So practice makes perfect. Maybe someday I'll get close to that. Thanks again, and I'll see you on my next video.